Good morning, artists. This is Beth Cooper. Happy Tuesday morning. We're working on objects that we are going to use in our camping scene at the end of the week. And we're going to today work on things that we need around camp. Yesterday we did the background, we did mountains and trees. Today we're going to do the tent and the sleeping bag and a lantern because we need that light. It's going to be beautiful starry skies. We're going to make a nighttime sky this time, but we are going to need a little bit of light, so we're going to make a lantern. So we're going to start with the tent, and I'm going to start over here so that hopefully you can see a little bit better when I'm drawing. We're going to break down the tent with a triangle. Let's start with a wide triangle like this. And then in order to change a shape into a form, which is its three-dimensional self, we are going to create a triangular prism. And the way that we do this is we just go up and to the right a little bit, and we're going to draw another triangle that's the same size as the one in front. Hopefully I'm not throwing you guys off too much. And this is going to tell us where to draw points for our tent. So we're going to go from this top point of the triangle behind to the one in front, and we're going to do the same thing with the bottom like this. And you see how it creates a form or a three-dimensional shape instead of just a flat two-dimensional triangle. Okay, now these are guidelines back here, and I'm going to erase those right now because yesterday my ink pen caused me issues, and I want to make sure that that doesn't happen now with my triangle. See how it looks like a form or a solid 3D shape. So in front then, we're going to create the tent flaps. We're going to go like this. Just a smaller triangle within. And then we have the tarp that goes on top. And I'm going to make this one curve a little bit more so that we can see that there's a tarp to keep us dry. And I'm going to connect that line again. That line should be parallel with the top and the bottom of the tent, like this. And again on the other side. Now to hold those down, I'm going to pretend that there are some little tent stakes down here. These are just little triangles, and I'm going to put an oval at the top to make the tent stakes. Little triangles and then an oval on all of the corners that we can see for our tent. And then we're going to draw lines down to those stakes like that, and we can have one little window following parallel lines front and back and parallel lines down at the bottom. We're going to draw it a window so that we can see out. Next thing we're going to do is draw the sleeping bag. Now the sleeping bag hasn't been unrolled yet, it's still a roll, so this is going to be really easy, and this is going to look familiar to you if you worked on the seashells last week. We're going to make it look sort of like the spiral seashell that we did in last week's piece. That's the front of it. It's rolled up, remember? And then we are going to create another roll like this, extend it a little bit, and another one like this. This is where it's tied together, and another one like this. That's going to be our sleeping bag. Now the most difficult one that we're going to work on today is the lantern. The lantern has quite a few shapes in it, but it's not hard if you follow along step by step. We're going to start at the top and make the shade for the lantern as an oval. Okay? And then from there, we're going to do another curve that looks similar to that. This looks similar to our bucket that we did last week. And we're going to draw lines going down from there. All right. Then pull your pencil down towards the bottom, and we're going to draw a smaller oval, even smaller than this one up here, like this, and another one underneath it. Another curve. This makes a cylinder, and draw straight lines. And then we're going to do another one about the same size as this one up here. And again, draw lines straight down to the curve that's underneath it. Now connecting these, we're going to go not quite to the corners, but we're going to go in a little bit, and we're going to draw down to the small oval on the inside. Now you're starting to see it, right? Now of course we have to have an element in the middle that lights up, so we're going to just draw two straight lines like this. And to create the handle, we're going to create, like we did with our shovel, it's going to start as a rectangle, and it's going to go out from here, go straight up, over to the other side, down here. Now you can leave it rectangular if you want to, or when you're inking, you can go back and make it curved. So let's go ahead and ink all of this stuff in. I've left that to the very last, and hopefully my ink pen, I'm going to try a different ink pen, see if that makes a difference, and go back and ink all of these things in. So now we only want to draw those lines that we really want to keep. So remember, with this rectangular, triangular prism, we don't want that back triangle. We want to see the flap or the tarp that goes on top. This ink pen is a little bit finer point, and so it's a little bit harder to see than the ink pen up there. Hopefully it will dry faster so that I don't have to worry about smearing my drawing. Ink all of yours in. And then draw the tie lines that are going to hold the flap down. Draw the flaps in the front of the tent. This ink pen is too fine. It's kind of running out of ink. Kind of hard to see sometimes. I'll find another one for my next drawing. Okay, there's our tent. Now let's go and do our sleeping bag roll. Make sure this curve follows the contour or the curve of the spiral that you did in the front. Do the same thing with the curve behind it. And then the same thing with the curve behind that, like that. Kind of looks like a pastry to me. And then I'm going to start by curving these corners of my handle. Like this. If you overlap into yesterday's work, that's okay, because remember, this is our practice page. We're just making sure that we get all of the pieces that we're going to use onto this page so we have them to follow when we're doing our final drawing at the end of the week. If there's anything that you want to change about your drawing, do that before you actually start your inking. And you can add details if you'd like to. So for instance, if you want to add an on-off switch or a brightness switch, you can go ahead and do that. That's quite a lot of detail that we probably won't see when we put it on the page, because it gets kind of small then. And there we have it, our 3 objects, things that we're going to need around camp. I hope you enjoyed Tuesdays. We'll see you tomorrow for Wednesdays.